things irritates the shit out of us.
Do they irritate you too? The other dogs love to pee on Bailey. No idea why. That is my biggest pet peeve.
Come on, like how would you feel if people do this to your head like that, right?
Oh my god, there's a dog! Like, yeah.
Just do it with a firm hand. Touch and throw. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Okie Doggie. I'm Qiuyu and with me here I have Double and Pepper.
And I'm Adeline with Bailey.
And in today's episode, we're going to talk about the pet peeves of dog owners. Like things that irritates the shit out of us, what really ticks us off, right? So I'm going to get Adeline to start off with. Adeline, is there anything as a dog owner that people does that really makes you so annoyed and so disgusted?
I won't say disgusted, but annoyed definitely. And this is actually with the other dog owners actually. One of my biggest pet peeve is when other dog owners allow their dog, whether it's on leash or off leash, to come to Bailey without asking for permission.
Okay, why is that so?
Specifically for Bailey, right, he used to be very, very friendly with other dogs, but then he got bitten by a big dog before in a dog run. So after that, he developed a little cautiousness towards the other dogs. So he's not all that friendly all the time.
Towards other dogs or human?
To dogs only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of times when we approach on the streets, right, especially when we are walking our dogs and stuff, and especially it's because it's Bailey, I think the specific breed as well. Shih Tzus are known to be very friendly and all. So if it was a big dog and all, most people or most owners don't just approach, I think, with their dogs and all. But with Bailey, for some reason, maybe because he's just
He
very
look too
cute lah.
friendly. Look too friendly.
Then they will just encourage their dogs to come over or
To interact with him.
yes, and I think the worst part of it is when I specifically say things like, I'm sorry, Bailey's not that friendly.
You mean you already warned them, but they
Yeah.
still allow their dogs to come over?
And here's what some of them actually say, which is, oh, don't worry, my dog is very friendly.
I think they are not listening at all.
Yeah, so I mean, how specifically do I need to say it? Because I don't want to offend people, and neither do I want to say Bailey will bite. He has never bitten other dogs, but I just want it to be on a very precautionary and preventive kind of thing. I don't want an accident or an incident to
I
occur,
think that's right.
Even if your dog is friendly, what happens if an incident occurs? Then who is to be responsible, right? Because I really tried to warn you and I already said don't come near. Unless you say, okay, let's try, but just be careful, yeah? Then that's okay. But because there's no prior permission and then they just
Allow their dogs to just come all over. And I think this can be exceptionally annoying, especially if their dog is puppy. Because puppy are not so well socialized and they are super excited, very happy, and it's not the puppy's fault. So when they meet other new dogs, they want to come and smell and sniff and get very excited. And generally, older dogs are not so welcoming of puppy dogs,
Yes.
especially if the dog is very calm. Then they will be quite repulsive against dogs that are super high
Hyper,
energy, very hyper. So I think this issue happens more with new dog owners with puppies, right? And then they have their new puppy, they are so eager to socialize the dog, thinking that the dog is friendly, and that's not the problem. The problem is they need to do check-in with the other owners whether the other dog is actually comfortable with your high energy dog approaching them, right? Because you don't want any accident to happen. Even if there's no accident, let's say the older dog like yelp at the other dog, it may frighten the younger dog and then leave a very bad impression, and then the dog may have like phobia of socializing.
Yes, and it happened more than once for some whatever reason. The other dogs love to pee on Bailey. So we've got like corgis peeing on him, we've got like golden retrievers peeing on him, no idea why. And that always happens after even like precisely after I tell them, no.
Then how did the dog owner react when their dog pee on?
Oh, they just pull the dog away and then just say, oh, sorry, and then just pull away.
So annoying.
And then I'm like,
what the hell?
Yeah, so that happens a bit, and I mean, like you say, if it's a puppy and all, and you're trying to control, it's fine. But really, especially when I've already said like he might not be as friendly, right? I think it's just good to take some precaution, lah. Yeah. So that is my biggest pet peeve. How about yours?
How about mine? I think one of my pet peeve is when these two girls, they are very friendly, so I don't mind people approaching them and touching them. So my pet peeve is this: somebody else wants to touch my dog and the person want to touch but very scared, so they will do this. Come on, like how would you feel if people do this to your head like that, right? Obviously the dog is not comfortable. Like, why do you do this? Because they want to touch but they are not touching with a firm hand. It's just quite annoying, right? I mean, how do you expect the dog to react? And sometimes the dog react by doing this, which is natural. Then they just think, the dog is not friendly, and then the dog is doesn't like me. I don't think that is the way to go. So if you want to approach and touch a dog, ask for the dog owner's permission. Let's say I give you the permission to touch my dog, just do it with a firm hand. Touch and stroke. Touch and stroke it. The dogs are fine, you see. So you don't need to do this to their face. Like this, like this, like this. They are going to get very annoyed. They like firm hands, because firm hand also means that you are very confident, you are not fearful of them. So touch and stroke, okay?
I think building on that same thing, right? It's almost similar with kids, right? They love dogs and then they just come and touch without asking for permission. Are you okay with that?
The good thing is my dogs are okay, but I know some dogs are not comfortable with having other children touching them without permission. So no matter what, you all should always check in with the owner. If the child touching the dog is firm and it's not like trying to be funny, right? I think that's perfectly okay. But I have met tiny human bully before, right? What they do is, right, the way they touch the dog is like this, very rough. Okay. They are not kind, and then they pull the dog tail, and they are like really is bullying the dog. They are like just tapping on the dog butt, and then they just laugh and then run, and then they want the dog to go and chase after them. And when the dog chase after them, they are like scared. It's just
so it's
them
more
annoying.
Of irritating and trying to get the dog to respond in a certain manner.
Just annoying. I mean, like I'm totally fine with people touching my dogs, but just do it with a firm hand. Don't do this. Don't like pull the tail, or you are behaving like a clown.
Okay, seems a bit extreme to me, but okay. I mean, I come from the point where I think probably these people are more scared than anything. So it's more of a proper guidance, I guess, that needs to be done. But yes, I would say if you're not confident, then don't approach the dog. Or if you approach with confidence, but with respect and permission from the owner.
Yep.
Yeah, so personally for me, there's another thing that I am really irritated about.
What?
Unfortunately, it's still about dog owners.
Seems like a lot of dog owners really pisses you off.
Not so much, but this time around it's really more about the irresponsible dog owners. I really hate it when the irresponsible dog owners, right, actually make the rest of us look bad. Give you an example. So what happened was this one time I was walking Bailey around the estate, and then I saw far off a neighbor of mine actually walking his dog as well. And then the dog pooped. So as responsible owners, what should everyone be doing?
Picking up the poop.
Exactly right, which is what we do all the time, right? You prep all the stuff, you just pick it up. I mean, there's nothing much to it. You have your bag, it doesn't even hurt you, it doesn't harm you. But this guy just walked on.
You mean he didn't pick up the dog poop?
Yes, he didn't pick it up. And worse, when we meaning me and my mom, actually told him to, hey, can you pick up your dog poop, like thinking that he probably didn't see or didn't notice, which is quite normal, right? Sometimes we miss it, and then when someone points up, we just pick it up. The guy literally just ignored us and walked on. So I really hated it. I had such a strong temptation to bag up the dog poop and then leave it at his gate and leave him a note like returning you the stuff that you left behind, right? But I didn't do it. I just helped bagged it up and threw it away. But I hate it because I think it gives such a negative impression.
Yeah, I mean, like, it will make other people think that all dogs or owners are just so inconsiderate, right?
And the fact is, I mean, as a person in the society also, or as a good friendly neighbor, right, you don't let your neighbor step on dog poop lah.
Yeah.
It's just as simple as that. Be a nice human being and make sure that you don't dirty the environment. If the dog is stray, okay, fine. Like we just stepped on a stray dog poop, fine. But if it's like your pet, you're taking care of it, just pick up the freaking dog poop. Yeah, pet peeve. Super annoying.
Do you have any other pet peeve?
Sounds like I'm more irritated with people than you.
I honestly speaking, I have trouble thinking about like points to talk about like pet peeves about being a dog owner. I generally don't have, but I agree with some of the points that you have mentioned. Yeah.
Probably you're just less irritable than me.
What else are you irritated about?
I'm irritated about, you know, sometimes when your lift door opens and then someone suddenly sees the dog and then they respond like as though they just saw a cockroach or, you know, like, oh my god, there's a dog! Like, yeah, there's a dog. It's just a dog.
How about if like a parent telling their kids not to touch your dog because it is dirty? How do you feel about that?
I think about dirty and all that, I guess I kind of can understand. What I really don't like actually is more of the parents saying, don't touch the dog, it will bite. I think it's very wrong to instill fear into your kids. I don't think it's a nice way to teach as well. I think the right way of education is still talking about, you know, dogs having their own temperament, they're still animals and stuff. So like for example, for touching them and all, better education is correct. Like I said, stroking, approaching the dog, don't pull the tail and stuff like that. Rather than tell them the dog will bite. I think that is like fear mongering in that sense in kids.
I think that in this aspect, these parents themselves are not dog lovers. They have very limited exposure and interaction with dogs. They are not dog lovers themselves. So then they just don't want their kids to touch other people's dog. Maybe that's why they say that. I think that is the easiest thing to say to deter their kids from touching the dogs, right?
Yeah, the right way is to teach the educational aspects, the right and the wrong stuff, as opposed to using fear to deter the kids.
That's true. I agree with you on that.
So, pet peeve. Should I still share one more?
Do you still have one more to share?
I feel like I'm the complaint queen today. Yes, but there is one more. And this is about the fact that I cannot bring Bailey into indoor spaces most of the time, especially in Singapore.
Right? Yeah.
Singapore is a multiracial country and we definitely respect our different races and different religion, and therefore a lot of our spaces in Singapore don't allow dogs in there except for certain like parks or open spaces or certain very specific indoor areas. But other than that, we are not allowed to bring them in.
To me, that is not a pet peeve. It's just the inconvenience of it. Like, you know, sometimes you want to bring your dog out, but you need to go to somewhere, but the dog is with you, then you can't enter the certain places because you are with the dog. So I think I see more of that, like the inconvenience. And Singapore being a multiracial country, I think we just need to respect each other's boundary, right? But one thing that I am quite heartened is actually Muslims not supposed to be licked by dogs, right? So a lot of Muslim friends, they avoid dogs, and then that's what they teach their children, you know, avoid dogs so that you don't get licked by the dogs and things like that. But I realized that in our generation of Muslims, right, my Malay friends, right, a lot of them actually they are animal lovers and they are perfectly okay with dogs. I've seen like our generations teaching their younger kids about how they should approach dogs and touch them properly so that maybe they can touch the body so that they can avoid being like, you know, licked by the dogs. And that still teaches their children, their kids, right, the love for animals and the love for dogs. Even though because of their religion they cannot allow dogs to lick them, but they still have that love for animals, and I really love that.
Yeah, I think I've seen a few posts on Facebook about that as well, where they actually share that no matter what, they are still animals and they are all about love as well. I mean, they're taught to like just avoid the saliva, like I said, I think, very specifically. So it's okay to have dogs around, but not to have them lick them, that's all.
Yeah.
I like that, and I think that ultimately, I guess in Singapore, it's still about being able to accommodate each other.
Yes.
Yeah, so I say pet peeve only because I think it's something that irritates me a little bit, and I find myself wishing many times that I can just bring him out, because it really is not possible for me to tie him outside our supermarket and go in and buy stuff. Like, just as simple as that. So that becomes my once a week, once a month kind of irritant that resurfaces.
Okay, what about people anyhow feeding your dog? Is that your pet peeve?
I would say it's a thing that I don't like. I don't think it's a peeve, only because I feel that maybe it's just that I don't bring him out as often as well to places where there's a lot of strangers. I find that happening lesser. But when people do feed without asking, I get irritated as well. For a legit reason. I mean, the fact.
Okay, because like Bailey is allergic to certain food.
Yeah, exactly. So that is more of a legit reason. But honestly, before this, right, I honestly didn't really care. Unless someone offered to feed him grapes, then I would be up in arms. So
I see.
yeah.
Okay, so guys, do you have any other pet peeves as a dog owner? Comment down below, let us know. And if you like this video, do help us to like and subscribe, and we will see you in our next episode.
Bye bye.